I've been on the Florida Park Service since 2009. Like Pete said, I started at Caladesi as a volunteer. I bounced back and forth between Caladesi and Honeymoon. Now I'm at Anclote Key, and for the last 10 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days, I've been at Anclote Key.
How long was it?
10 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days.
How many hours? That was really good.
Thank you. So, a lot of faces I've seen in my time here at Honeymoon Island. Some people I recognize from Caladesi, other people I haven't met yet, but I'm glad you came out tonight to listen to the program. I know you have a lot of options of things you can do, and I'm honored to be here. And I'll get started, and we'll talk about Anclote Key Preserve State Park. Some of the things we're going to talk about is the Florida Park Service, what we do and how we do it. The mission statement is the mission of the Florida State Park Service is to provide resource-based recreation while preserving, interpreting, and restoring natural and cultural resources. What that means is we take care of everything that's out here. Trees, trails, parking lots, buildings, nature center. I mean, it's our mission to take care of everything that's in the park that you all come out to enjoy. We have 164 state parks and 11 state trails located from Pensacola to Key West. Almost 800,000 acres, which is hard to believe. 800,000 acres of state parks. They're open every day, 365 days a year from 8 a.m. to sunset. Last year we had over 32 million visitors. Statewide direct economic impact of $3 billion for the fiscal year. 30,000 volunteers contributed 1.5 million hours. I can thank some of you for that, most of you for that. We do appreciate our volunteers. Some of the things that we do as park rangers and park staff, there's big five, we call it. Resource management, which, like I said, we take care of all the resources within the park. We meet with visitors, we answer questions, we do programs in the evenings. Maintenance, there's a lot of maintenance to do within a state park. Building maintenance, grounds maintenance, you name it, everything wears out eventually. And of course, there's always paperwork to do after the maintenance. And park protection, we make sure that people are getting along well, and they take care of the park and don't abuse or vandalize things. Anclote Key Preserve State Park is located approximately 3 miles offshore of Tarpon Springs. If you go out the Anclote River, head straight west, you'll run right into it and can't miss it. There is a lighthouse on the very south end of the island. We do offer primitive camping on the very north end of the island, and I mean primitive, no electric, no water. You have to get yourself out there, get yourself back, bring everything that you need, water, food, everything. The island consists of 403 upland acres with over 11,000 submerged acres, which consists of grass flats, marsh flats, and just everything that surrounds the island itself. The southern boundary is actually just on the northern end of Honeymoon Island. You see the pass between Honeymoon Island and Three Rooker. Three Rooker Bar is part of the Anclote Preserve State Park group. And we also have the North Anclote Bar, which is north of Anclote Key. Over 220,000 visitors came to the park last year. The initial 102 acres of Anclote Key Preserve was acquired back in 1960 through a land trade between the state of Florida and I believe the federal government, which I believe is Department of Interior, if I'm not mistaken. It became a state park in 1971. It took over 25 years to acquire the extra acreage to make up the park and the 3 islands. We do the resource-based outdoor recreation, preserving, interpreting, and restoring natural and cultural resources. On the Gulf side, there's 7 miles of undeveloped, beautiful white sand beaches, shorebirds, nesting sea turtles, wading birds. I don't know if everyone has made it to Anclote Key or not, but if you haven't, I would strongly suggest finding a way out there. There is a ferry that brings people out of Tarpon Springs. However, they have a guided tour down the river. They drop you off on the south end of the island for about 20 or 30 minutes to collect shells. You get right back on the same boat and they take you back in. So if you have your private boat, you can come out and enjoy the island for half a day, all day. Or like I said, camping is available on the very north end. There's no fee, no reservation. You just find a spot on the beach, set up camp, pitch your tent, call the number, say, Todd, I'm here for 2 nights, and there's 4 people. That's all I do is check in, that's all I need to know. I'll have your contact number when you call me, so in case there's an emergency, I can get a hold of you and let you know what's going on. But it's not crowded at all. I mean, a busy weekend might be 20 people, and the whole north end of the island, on the north end and down the west side, is open for camping. So I mean, there's always room. There's always room for more people. Like I said, the lighthouse on the south end of the island is 110 feet tall with 129 interior steps. As you look through the center of the lighthouse itself, it's a one long spiral staircase right in the middle. It's very tight spiral staircase, 129 steps. The last 21 are the worst. The reason I say that is because it gets very steep and very narrow. I mean, it's already narrow going up, but the last 21 are not very deep at all, and it's real steep. But once you get to the top, it's unbelievable view. You've never seen anything like it. If you find lighthouses before, you understand what I'm talking about, but when you get to the top of the Anclote Key Lighthouse, it is just absolutely gorgeous. This slide talks about the natural systems management, primary emphasis on restoring and maintaining to a degree possible the natural processes of shape and structure, function, and species composition. What this means is we're not going to rake the beach, we're not going to take care of the beach like Clearwater Beach or some of your major tourist spots. I mean, we have rack lines, we have things that wash up on the beach, and that's what stabilizes the soil and starts the next dune line. So I mean, we just leave things naturally as they occur. And we obviously pick up the trash and make it look nice. But we just let Mother Nature ebb and flow with the sands, and it's always constantly shifting sands on the island from north to south, south to north, especially during winter. Anclote Key Preserve State Park was acquired in order to preserve and represent the natural and the cultural history of the state of Florida. Like I said, the lighthouse, it was built in 1887. It's registered as a historic place. That's one of the main reasons I'm out there, is to make sure it works, make sure it's lit. Keep away vandals, because we had some dark years on Anclote Key. There was a lighthouse keeper's period, and then the Coast Guard took control of the lighthouse. And then when they decided to turn the light out in 1984, there was probably a period of 20 years that it was vandalized. A lot of vandalism went on, and it did get restored back in 2003. A local group of volunteers and fundraisers. So, like I said, 7 miles of undeveloped beach, over 5,800 acres of seagrass beds. The shorebird colony sites is listed as globally significant. And I wanted to point that out because it's not locally significant, it's not statewide significant, it is globally significant to the shorebirds in this area and the migratory birds from up north. And for that reason, we don't allow dogs on Anclote Key or Three Rooker Bar. Service dogs are always welcome, of course, but pets are not allowed because of the significance of the shorebird colonies and the loggerhead sea turtle nesting. And we do mention the Thames Ridley because I believe we have 2 Thames Ridley nests on Anclote Key, which is very special. Very special. Now, bald eagle nesting, osprey nesting, and great horned owls. Last year, the great horned owls had 2 owlets that hatched, and we still see them from time to time. Matter of fact, see them almost daily. A lot of times in the evening, I'll be sitting in the living room and I'll watch as the great horned owl, at least one, will pitch up to the lighthouse and perch up there right at dusk and sunset. It's pretty neat. Really neat thing to see. Of course, you have gopher tortoises. Don't ask me how they got there. I'm glad. And 27 imperial species. We do have, I believe, 8 different ecosystems that you can see here listed. The marine substrate is sand, beach material. for the wildlife on the island. Once again, we have plenty of raccoons. I'm not sure how they got started, but apparently they're prolific swimmers. We have, this past year we had 12 loggerhead nests on Anclote. It was very successful. A really good year for the sea turtles. The 2 tench nests, and of course we have the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, and we have, I've seen king snakes on the island since I've done it. Some of our impaired species. This is a very big nesting and resting area for terns, plovers, oyster catchers. And the guy nested down. Like I said, it's a very, very important and globally significant area for nesting. And that's why we don't allow dogs, on the island. We allow them off the Anclote bar.
What kind of bird was that?
Back here's an oyster catcher, American oyster catcher with chicks. And a cotton ball with toothpick legs. And there are areas of the island on Anclote Key, and especially 3 Rooker, that we close during the summer because of the nesting season. May through August, as you can see, July 4th weekend is critical because the islands are very, very busy with recreational boaters. And we try and do what we can to educate the boaters as to why we don't allow dogs. Please keep your dog on the boat, keep your dog at home. Because as you'll see, one dog running through that will take care of the next generation of birds. So you can see there's different size chicks, different development, some still nesting, and one dog running through the pack. And that's an actual picture from 3 Rooker. Thousands of birds on 3 Rooker Island. Some of the imperiled species, you see the great horned owl, of course the osprey. We have bald eagles on Anclote Key as well. Just this morning I saw 2 perched in a tree behind the house. I've seen as many as 3 at one time. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So that's always exciting. They're hopping from tree to tree. I think they're trying to figure out a nest and work something out with the ospreys on who's going to nest where. So we'll wait and see. Excuse me. We'll wait and see who wins out and who ends up where. So plenty of ospreys on the island. Of course, one of my favorites is the roseate spoonbill. We see them quite often, not all the time, quite often. Wintering birds, banded birds. One of the park biologists will be out with a couple people from Audubon, and they'll actually do a bird survey 2 or 3 times throughout the winter, a couple times in the spring and summer, and they'll actually find the birds, the banded birds, read the code, read the number, and they can trace it back to where the bird was actually banded. Unfortunately, I can't even see the bands, so I'm not much help to them. Gopher tortoise. Quite a few of them on the island as well. Sea turtle nesting season, like I said, the official begin is in April through October. We've got like a week left, but like I said, all the nests on Anclote have already hatched. But the official season is April through October. She'll crawl up on the beach and make a nest and head back out to sea. That was actually a Kemp Ridley.
Hard to hear you. Could you speak up a little?
Can you hear me now?
That might
I think my clicker just quit. There it is. Okay, back to the lighthouse. It was built in 1887. It was actually automated in 1952 when, like I said, the Coast Guard was there. In November of 1984, they turned the light out. And they actually officially decommissioned it a month later in December of 1984. And I found documentation just today doing research on the program. The light was off in November. The whole island was decommissioned. They walked away in 85. And within 9 months, the lighthouse was the only building left on the island. The only structure still standing. There was lighthouse keeper's house, which you can see down here on the bottom left. assistant lighthouse keeper's house as well, along with the chicken coop, a couple of privies, a cistern for collecting rainwater. That would be the assistant lighthouse keeper's house.
That's all gone now?
That's all
It's all
gone.
gone?
Pile of bricks,
Where did it go?
destroyed,
Vandals?
By vandals?
vandals, burnt down,
Oh.
torn down, yeah. Some of the trees around this area of the compound are still black, scarred, and it's, wasn't from historic fire, it was right next to the residence. This is this structure here is the cistern where they collected rainwater, and they built another collection tub or barrel on top. That's still there, the cistern's still there. But of course, the barrel's wooden, it's all gone except the metal rings, they're still piled up in a pile, actually 2 piles of metal ring. There was 2 cisterns. It's an aerial view of the assistant keeper's house on the right, the lighthouse keeper's house on the left. In the back was the chicken coop. You can see the cisterns are back here, here, and here. And now the resident ranger house is back here. This was a pier with a boathouse that the lighthouse keepers used to get back and forth to the island. They had their own boat, they had a pier with a little boathouse and a metal winch. They had to winch the boat up into the boathouse to tie it up at night. This is a now and then picture. The one on the left was probably about 2 months ago. And the picture on the right is obviously the lighthouse keepers' houses. When you get to the top of the lighthouse, that's the view looking to the west, out past into the Gulf of Mexico. That's a view looking south down the boardwalk towards Three River and of course Highland off in the distance. Some of the things we do as park rangers, we've got invasive species we work hard at trying to eradicate from the parks and state property. Of course, the big one's Brazilian pepper, Australian pine, and Tobin grass. Prescribed fire is another tool that we use to eliminate ground fuels. A lot of small fires prevents one catastrophic fire. So we try and burn off the ground fuels and it puts nutrients back in the soil, which everything, all the plants thrive on the nutrients from the fire. And a lot of people ask about the trees. A lot of the trees in Florida are fire dependent, I should say. So, with small fires prevent one catastrophic fire. That's the view of the resident ranger's house. It's pretty self-contained out there. There's no Duke Energy, no water lines, no cable. It's satellite TV, but no cable. As you see, the solar panels provide energy for the lighthouse and the resident compound. We do have a CSO group that comes to Anclote Key. We all love our CSOs. This guy right here, very happy, real smiles. We have a staff of 1 paid on Anclote Key, so when we get a group work day, he's very happy. Have a good group of volunteers that help a lot. They do a lot for the park. We have lighthouse open houses throughout the year, certain days of the year. This is my email address. If anyone wants to email me some questions or correspondence, I also have a phone number. You can get that from the website. It's been an honor to be here tonight. The one thing I do want to say, I always say before a group, when we get a chance, is bring kids to the state park. If you don't have kids of your own, bring the neighbor kids. We do need to get more kids involved in the outdoors. There's too much of this and not enough of this. So, any chance you can, bring kids to the park. Any questions? Yeah.
One of the slides had a picture of an oil house
Yes.
frame. What's that signify?
That was, they powered the lighthouse by kerosene and fuel oil years ago.
Oh.
And that was upgraded to solar power. I had a 12-volt solar power. It was a fuel house, yes, an oil house.
Thank you.
Question over here.
Yes.
You're not on Airbnb, are you? Darn. Make a little extra money, people.
Do you have battery backup for lights in the evening?
Yes, I've got a bank of 24 batteries that the sun and solar power charges the batteries during the day, and that's what powers the lighthouse and resident compound. And I also have a backup generator, which if the batteries get depleted to 35%, generator kicks on automatic,
Oh, okay.
charges the batteries and kicks
And
on.
water, you have just a system type of?
Yeah, I've got a, I call it a desal unit, but I think it's actually a reverse osmosis. So
Yeah.
don't ask me to explain it, all I know is it takes the osmosis and reverses it. I gotta keep it running, that's all I know.
We've paddled out to Anclote 4 in Canada out in the north end.
Mhm.
What do you want us to do, and I wanna do this again in a few weeks? To call you when we get there, or call you ahead of time?
No, call me when you get there, cause I know plans change, especially if you're kayaking out. A
Yeah.
lot of people put in at the Anclote River Park,
Right.
and they think, oh my goodness, 30-mile-an-hour winds, and I'm not coming, and I think you're there and you're not.
Okay.
Just wait till you're there, we'll set up camp, just say, Todd, we're
Okay.
here, 2 people, 1 night.
Good.
Yes.
How did you say you get there, or what are the directions?
I get there by state issued boat,
Well,
and I go down the Anclote River, and once you get out the Anclote River, there's a power plant, and there's a Pasco County park called Anclote River Key, or Anclote River Park.
Yep.
And just about 3 miles straight west of there.
There's also a little Pasco County Park just north of that, Gulf Hammock Park or something?
Something like that,
Yeah,
yes.
we just paddle out that way.
Yeah, then straight west of like Fred Howard Park.
yeah, where do you catch the ferry then?
The
Yeah.
ferry leaves from the sponge docks.
Oh, from the sponge dock, okay, that's.
There's another boat that leaves from Dunedin if you want a
Oh,
longer
Paradise.
day trip, and that's the Paradise Express, and he'll custom make a trip for a small group. Yeah, and he's located right here in Dunedin. You get to spend a lot longer on the island.
You said the state of Florida purchased the property. Who did they purchase it from?
Well, I think the Department of, correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, but the Department of Interior
They-
controls
they-
the island.
They swapped
I don't think
Anclote Key for the preserve down on Sanibel. They actually did a land swap on it for Ding Darling.
Who did though?
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in the state of Florida
So
did a
it's
land swap.
federal land?
The federal land, it was federal land, we owned Ding Darling, and they did a land swap. The feds wanted Ding Darling, the state wanted Anclote Key.
And then Three Rooker Bar didn't used to be an island until it appeared in the sixties. So did it just become part of the state of Florida, or did it? have to be
We actually owned the submerged land from the northern tip of Honeymoon all the way north of Anclote Key proper to where Three Rooker or North Anclote Bar has emerged. We owned all of that submerged land there. The Florida Park Service did when we got the land from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
Okay.
So any islands or any land that accreted or grew from that became part of the state park.
Okay, thank you.
What's a typical day like for you?
I get that a lot. People say, what are you doing on an island all day? Well, a typical day for me is I'll, start in the morning. The first thing I do is go to the beach, especially now during turtle season. I would check for, fresh turtle nest. Of course, I'm always checking for red tide, symptoms of red tide, and we had the same symptoms like they had here at Honeymoon. The day after Michael blew through, I had some fish wash up on the beach. Slight respiratory, but nothing major, just for the one day, and that was 2 weeks ago. So now I still have a few dead fish on the beach, but that's the smell's gone away. But always maintenance. There's always something to fix. It takes a lot of work just to live there. I'm constantly monitoring the water system, fresh water system. I'm constantly looking at the generators. I'm checking the batteries. And just something's always breaking. You're constantly something pops up. You might have 4 things you want to get done that day. You might not get any of them done because 4 other things took precedence. But it's like I said, a lot of maintenance, a lot of beach patrol, a lot of answering the phone calls, interacting with campers and visitors, and just keep things running. Just keep things running.
I think most rangers have real job security.
Yeah, when it comes, yeah, maintenance and protection and business
Never a
service, yes.
dull day.
Never, I mean, you never know what you wanna do. You think you know until the day unfolds. Yes.
Are your supplies brought to you then, or do you make a list, and do they come weekly or monthly, or how does
No,
that
I've
work?
got a boat that I
Yeah.
can go to the grocery and Home Depot and the post office all in one day and I come back. So I mean, it's up to me to get supplies I need when I need them, and I don't go every day. I
Right,
just-
so that's a
it's
day
always-
right there probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy task, I mean, it just takes time. You know, and going from the house to the boat, to my truck, the truck to the store, and then it takes a while. Yes.
Do you ever encounter the rattlesnakes, and what do you do when you do?
In the 10 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days I've been there, I haven't seen one. I have seen king snakes, but I haven't seen a rattlesnake. But I mean, if you do, I mean, we have them
What do you
here,
suggest then if you do run into one?
just stop, don't threaten, don't poke, just, they want nothing to do with you. What you see on TV is the aggression of somebody poking something at them. But I've had them go right in front of me and they could care less. You just, don't provoke them, just stop, let them go, and you go about your business. Just watch where you're stepping. I mean,
Well, you're out there alone, anything happens to you, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, 911 and.
Where?
Yeah.
Do you have a cell phone?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's like, I'm right here, find me. I mean, you have to think, you have to be careful.
How do you ride around? Do you have a Jeep?
I have a club car, UTV, and an ATV.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. That's what I do. I get out of bed, hit the floor running.
Raccoons, aren't raccoons with all those birds and their eggs, isn't that a problem?
Yes. The raccoons are a huge problem with nesting birds and sea turtles. That's why first thing in the morning I get up to check the sea turtle nest. And as soon as I find one, we have cages that we put over them to keep the raccoons out.
Have you thought of trapping and relocating the raccoons?
I'm sorry about that.
I relocated one in my house.
Yeah, we have a relocation
What?
program in state parks. Yes, ma'am.
So the lighthouse is still operational?
Yes.
Or,
I just-
so,
Look, just a minute ago, it's lit.
so who regulates, like, since the Coast Guard doesn't do that anymore, once it still operates, is it coordinated somehow? Or, I mean, as far as like the flashes, you know, the,
Yeah, I mean, it's still an active aid to navigation. I mean, it's an active lighthouse, and that's my job to make sure it comes on every night. So, you know, that's another thing that pops up, you know, you're watching TV, you look out, it's not on. The light's been lit every night except for a couple weeks ago. And it's one in the lighthouse, you fix it.
so does it have a certain, you know, like what I'm trying to say,
Yeah,
pattern? or
pattern, yes,
something?
it's 4 flashes in 30 seconds.
Okay, so that's what it was before, probably?
As far as I know.
It's always been that way, and we have to maintain it as that, as a private aid to navigation.
Yeah.
And if it goes out and it gets reported, I get a nasty letter from the Coast Guard.
So that's like one of the things that we have to keep up.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I'd just like to give a shout out to the Florida Lighthouse Association, because I know they helped with something, I think it was, put a fence around something
Yeah, so they
recently.
donated money for the fencing
Yeah.
project, yeah.
Yeah.
We had them out on the island back in January, as a group.
How's your love life? Do you have a family? Family lives out there?
No, I got a daughter in Clearwater.
Do you know how many hours and minutes?
Can visitors go up the spiral staircase?
It's officially open just certain days of the year. We just had it open 2 weeks ago, October 13th was the last day. We have the CSO comes out and they put on a pretty big show, big production, sell souvenirs and, you know, help, you know, the person at the top and the person at the bottom. Because the stairway's so tight and spiral staircase, you can't pass. So we let like 8 people up, and then we regulate when 2 come down, we send 2 more up. So it can be a long ordeal. It can be a long day, a long line, but just, you know, be patient and we're all around the team.
It can also be pretty hot.
It's warm. There are some windows we open on the way, I mean, so you do get a cross ventilation, but it's.
Indoors, like the
Does.
Statue of Liberty, indoors.
Yep, right to the center. 129 steps.
Yeah.
You don't wanna do it if you're claustrophobic.
No.
I can tell you from experience.
more questions? Yes, sir.
Do you have dock mooring or dockage available to private boaters who wanna come out and stay overnight?
Say that again?
Is there any mooring or dockage available to private boats?
No, what you do, you anchor offshore or drag it up onshore. Be aware of the tides, because you wouldn't believe the amount of boats I've seen beached. You get up in the morning, you're sitting sideways. So we just, you just put your anchor up onshore, double anchor, whatever you want to choose to do, but no, there's no place to tie up.
It's amazing.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
yeah.
How did you fare during Michael, and how have you fared with bad weather? What do you do?
Normally typical bad weather, you just ride it out. Michael, I evacuated for 2 days. I left on Tuesday afternoon and got back Thursday afternoon. So I mean, you generally take some of the equipment off the island, bring it to honeymoon, but at least take the boat out of the water and we put it in the rack. And I left for 2 days, then went back Thursday afternoon and surveyed the damage. Didn't do too bad. I mean, boardwalk damage, of course. But yes, ma'am.
I just am curious about once night falls. You said you get TV.
Yeah, I've got
Can you
direct
get
TV.
online? Can you get online? Can you?
Yeah, I've got satellite TV, satellite internet, and Viasat. So I mean, I've got everything I need. I'm good. Monday night football, and college football. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you, George. Thank you.